What's going on, everybody? Friday here with Friday's Gear Reviews, and let's talk about one of the most compelling high-end production / collab knives out there. This is the Shirogorov Quantum Monkey Edge Frag Pattern, or MEFP, and this just isn't a standard Shirogorov. This is a knife that blends Shirogorov's legendary engineering with a more aggressive American style of monkey edge. This is the kind of blade that is as much a precision tool as it is a collector's centerpiece. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna move this out of the way. We'll go ahead and talk specs here. So first of all, this is a 3.75 inch stone-washed Chromax PM blade. But what's really great about this is it has a 4-inch cutting edge. So it has more cutting edge than blade length, which is just awesome. It's 8.875 inches overall and weighs just around 3.9 ounces, which is great. If you're going off of the blade length of the 3.75, that's good. But if you're going off the cutting edge, that's perfect ratios. This knife runs on a multi-row bearing system, which if you look on Recon 1 and places like that, it says it runs on a single row, but the COA for this knife said it is a multi-row. So that's what we're going with today, the multi-row bearing system. It has stone-washed titanium proprietary hardware. The one gripe I have about the hardware is the proprietary part's kind of, Metal Complex talked about if you have, you can put some credit cards together, sand them down, and it'll turn just fine. But this is a free spinning pivot. So if you don't have pressure on here and you go to turn this, it's not moving, which is kind of aggravating. And then we'll get into the titanium scales. And they are this bronze blue kind of just rugged anodizing on here. And it has this monkey edge frag pattern that they're known for. But the cool part about this one is it really translates well because it follows the curvature of the blade. I think that's really, really nice. It's on both sides too, which really helps calm my OCD, if you will. It's got a steel lock bar insert right here, which is really cool. So you don't have the carbonized lock face or titanium lock face. In the inside of the knife, what helps keep the weight down, it has milled pockets. So you have two larger pockets here, two larger pockets here, two larger pockets right here, and one shallow one under the lock bar relief cutout. It has a lanyard hole right here, and then on the side here on the back spacer, or back spacer if you will, it has a satin titanium standoff. And then the clip, unfortunately lefties, this is not a knife for you because it is right-handed tip up only carry. But if you look, there is a hidden screw right here. Kind of turn it so you can see. It's kind of hard to see right there. And let's talk about fit and finish. Right off the box, this thing is unmistakably Shirogorov. And I'll explain what I mean, because it's two reasons. First of all, if you've ever seen a Shirogorov and you know what it is, when you look at this, it has these lines that just scream Shirogorov. And then the second reason is, this is absolutely immaculate in fit and finish, which Shirogorov is known for. The tolerances are aerospace grade. There is no blade play whatsoever, so left, right, up, and down. There's no lock stick and no gritty action. This thing feels like it is frictionless, if you will. Open it here. I mean, it just slides so smooth, which, Shirogorov is known for. So this knife feels like the attention to detail was so great that it was, actually put together under like a microscope or something. But what really sets this knife apart from other Shirogorov designs, because they have done other collabs in the past, but the way I like this one is the way they have done the frag pattern, and they've kind of followed the blade lines here, just really set it to a different level. It gives you this aggressive, not super aggressive, but aggressive enough and subtle texture to where it is more tactile than your smooth scales, but yet it's not going to chew up your hands or chew up your pocket when carrying this knife. And this knife itself really strikes a perfect balance between Shirogorov's elegance and the brawny, rugged nature of Monkey Edge. let's get into one of the things that Shirogorov is really known for as well, and that is the action. This multi-row bearing system is nothing short of legendary, and it really is in full effect here. I mean, the detent of flipper tab is tuned really, really well. It's snappy, crisp, a little stiff, but not overly stiff. But it is strong enough to create this satisfying thwack. And let's listen to that here. I mean, just super crispy, super snappy. Very nice. And then the close, it just really glides back into place. What's great is it's not just a drop shut knife like something like this. It is this super controlled drop shut here. So it's frictionless, it really is. And the only reason it's slowing down is because I'm letting off the lock bar. Now you could flip this thing hundreds of times and still be amazed every time. Now, I will get into the main gripe about this knife, and that is the flipper tab. I loathe the flipper tab. Other than that, the knife is mostly positive, I really have to say. But the flipper tab, since the jimping's right here and the blade stock is really thin, it really creates this hot spot right here from flicking it over and over. And then the other part is, if you have your hand slightly on this lock bar, if you push, as you can see, you white knuckle it, it's still not going to go. So just something to keep in mind. Definitely not a deal breaker, just like the proprietary screws. Just something to note. Now, the blade itself, let's talk about the blade. It is a 3.75 inch, like we said before, and a 4-inch cutting edge. It's a double flat grind, so there's a flat grind on both sides. And the blade steel is Chromax PM. And then the fact it's super slicey and thin really is a good slicer. It's an awesome tool to use daily. But, so the blade itself is bead blasted and beautifully ground. Honestly, it's what you'd expect from Shirogorov. The Chromax PM, let's talk about that. It is a semi-stainless steel that has been used in some kitchen knives, but it has been translated beautifully here. The steel is known for good edge retention, or pretty good edge retention. It's decently stainless, so kind of keeps some corrosion away. Just make sure you take care of it. And overall, it's relatively easy to sharpen, which is nice. So you could take this knife out and cut zip ties 1 minute and then prep food the next. And for me, what I did on this knife, because I did use it some. I didn't use it a lot, but I did use it some. So I kind of tested, the standard knife stuff. Cut a couple zip ties, broke down a couple boxes, opened some packages, did some food prep. And this thing really is sharp. Let's see. I'll get into it right here. So, I mean, it is just gliding through this paper. It's incredible. It really is. So, that's what you want. You want a slicer, this is your guy. Now, one thing that really is a quiet win here, an understated win, is going to be the ergos of this knife, because it has this subtle finger groove here that really does feel natural in your hand. The knife has slight contouring, which really helps you kind of lock in there, makes it comfortable for cutting over long periods of time. And then the frag pattern adds the right amount of traction without giving you hot spots during extended use. Now, the pocket clip is a 3D machine titanium clip. It's deep carry, so as you can see it right here, you really would have about this much of your knife sticking out, so not much at all, which is really nice. And it definitely isn't going to tear up your jeans. This thing disappears in the pocket, and even though it's a fancier knife, it's not going to feel dainty or delicate or anything like that. Let's talk about size and weight, right? We'll talk about it again, but we'll do a more deeper dive. So at around 3.9 ounces, this is not a featherweight knife, but then again, this is almost a 9-inch knife. So 3.9 ounces is pretty good. because this thing definitely carries lighter than it feels. And that's due to the contour design. It has a really great balance. The balance is right here behind the pivot. Let's see if I can get it to balance here. Did it a second ago. So yeah, so right behind the pivot. So a little butt heavy, but not too bad. What's really cool too is it really does sit pretty slim in the pocket. So, and then the monkey edge frag pattern is nice because it's tactical without screaming tactical. And for a knife this size at almost 9 inches, this is, like I said, really comfortable to EDC. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. So let me open this guy here. So first we're going to do the old $2 bill, as you can see here. Next, we're going to do the AAA battery. Just kind of doing the, more drastic stuff. AA battery here. A little Swiss Army classic. SOG Terminus XR. And we got the Turner CNC Jackalope here. Got the Para 3 lightweight. We have one that's close in size, which is the Para Military 2, but the cutting edge is laughably more on the Shirogorov. So the next thing we're going to get into is exclusivity. And here's where it gets kind of on the frustrating side for people that are trying to get this. This is a limited edition collaboration piece. Monkey Edge doesn't do anything halfway, so when this has been done, this kind of mixture between them and Shirogorov, it was done so well. I mean, it really was. It translated amazing. And they created something for both collectors and hard use users to get excited about. So this knife has this grail persona about it. And it's true, it really does, because this knife speaks to both Russian precision and American design language. This also means that the secondary market is kind of nuts on this, especially when this knife comes out because it sells out quick. So people want to jump in and get it. So, of course, secondary is not going to be too nice to you. So final thoughts here. If you want a knife that feels like it was built by aerospace engineers, but it belongs in a custom EDC rotation, the Shirogorov Quantum MEFP is your guy. This walks the line between precision and aggression in a way that few knives can. And whether you're flipping this on your couch or slicing through heavy-duty materials in the field, it'll deliver and do it with style. For rating-wise, I'd give this thing about a 9.5, and that's due to the flipper tab, the proprietary hardware with the free spinning pivot, and scarcity. But that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're in knives at this price tier. So, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by, and y'all have a great day.